Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to play a blues bass line over some chords with a loop pedal, and so you can have something to practice over. So, got this bass line. It's going to be at a G. I want to play it first. I want to play the chords first, and then I'll explain what it all is. So let me start this up. I'm going to start with the bass line. That's the bass line. And on my last video, I was talking about the E and the E Mixolydian and that shape. That's the blues chord. So that walking bass line is playing G, C, and D. And it's all over that sound. When the G changes, you can play those shapes. Each chord, the shape is the same, except because of the octave, I like to play the chords with the G. When the G is the first chord, in the bass, and then the F and the B's on the G string, so you got this sound. That is 15th fret, first string, 15th fret, third string, 16th fret on your G string. So, and you take that shape, move it down to the same exact shape, to the C, 8th fret on the first string, and then back. And then your G is going to be here. So, my bad, it's going to be, you see when I play it, it's just easier to play it. But the point is, in my last video, that shape, if you play each individual note, that's your E Mixolydian or E7, my bad, E7 arpeggio, Mixolydian scale, blues sound. So, you playing this walking bass line, you're outlining that shape. Except you're throwing this E in. So, if you know your triad, or your 7th chord, G, B, D, and F, you're just throwing that E in. So you're playing G, B, D, E, F, back down. Same exact shape to the C, starting on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Then you go up to the D, which is your 5th fret. Back down to the C. But I end it with a little walk up there. To the B, C, and the D. So you just gotta practice that. It's something that you gotta feel, play, drum beat. It's got a little bit of a swing, a shuffle, whatever you call it, similar to jazz. It's a feel thing. You feel it inside after a long time. You don't ever have to think about it. So, I'm going to put these chords down. I'm going to try the G shape, to the C shape, to the D shape. So, what I'm doing, when I'm picking them chords, hold on, when I'm picking them chords, I'm playing the root note on beat, and then the other two notes after. So it's kind of, it's on the upbeat. It takes practice. If you hear it, you can play it. So, that might be a little bit much for a straight beginner, and you can break that down to one chord and practice each chord one at a time. That's how I've learned most of my life. I'll usually start with one, and you know, what would be the G, and just stay on it. That shape over top. And it's just a basic walking, you know, sounds cool. And it gets a lot more with your chromatic notes and stuff. There's theory behind all that, but in the end, you're just playing, you just listen, you feel it. You play enough, you don't have to overthink it all. So, once you get that down, you can play like B minor. First of all, you want to get that walking down, because if you ever look at a guitar book and how they teach how to solo, it's the same way they teach how to do a walking bass line. It's the same concepts for the most part. I mean, it's the same concepts. It is, if you read it. So in a way, the bass is always soloing, because all the walking line's doing is playing the individual notes of the chords you're strumming. a guitar player would play more than 3-note chords, you know, maybe not. But, so when you learn how to walk, you learn how to solo at the same time. You can transfer it up an octave and the same concepts apply, pretty much. So it's just great practice. And practicing them chords on that, with that little, that upstroke kind of thing. There's 2 notes on the offbeat that teaches you, once you start hearing that kind of stuff, you start feeling it. And it just takes practice, you know, and somebody can only teach you so much, and eventually you gotta just do it. And it's going to sound bad, it might sound good. If it's difficult, then you try and do hard. Simplify everything. If you can't play 2 notes at one time, practice 1 note until you get 1 note down. Then go 2 notes, 3 notes, you know, build up. And you'll learn how to teach yourself eventually. If you got that kind of drive and you want to learn. What I would do is, anything I was learning about, I got on YouTube and I would look into, like, what to play on the 5 chord, you know, that's a big one. And I'd watch videos on how to play over a 5, and I just loop 5 chord, and I practice different things, you know, 2 chord, 1 chord is major scale pretty much, but not, I don't know. There's other ways. But once you start getting into it, my point is, once you start finding the path yourself, because it will lead you. You realize, well, in order to know this, and I need to go back to this point, and you know, and you start figuring and piecing it together, and sound will lead you. Like, what I did was, when I sat down to learn, I thought, how would I learn this? And I thought, well, if you're gonna play music, you have to practice music. And I didn't want to learn cover songs, because my problem was, that's all I knew was cover songs. Well, you know, I could play a lot, play good, play well, learn anything, but I had no voice of my own. So I thought, how can I learn this music and make it make sense? And so I thought, well, I'll learn them progressions, 1, 4, 5. And I would figure out how to play the chords, and I would do what I just doing, except I would practice over each chord, the mode that went with it, and I just practiced straight up and down, hours, for months. I did it all straight up and down, and then I'd go to the next chord straight up and down, and I put them together, and I just started figuring out. And I say months because in that time, I learned 100 different ways of playing the same things, just changing that, you know, different mood, different whatever, and you just start realizing how infinite it is. And you can stay on one thing. You can stay on, you know, I spend a lot of time on like a F-sharp Dorian, because I just love that sound. And there's so many ways to use it, and you challenge yourself by putting it into a looper and then trying to put something different than you done yesterday on top. Pick it different, whatever you got to do. And you just find your own ways of playing things, you know, and then continue to listen, but you don't have to copy everybody all the time. I take exercises and try to learn from that, you know. It's a lifelong commitment. I played my whole life. When you play your whole life, it makes it difficult to try to tell somebody how to play, because you can't teach somebody to feel something, and you kind of forget what it was like to not know. I don't know. But hopefully you get something out of these videos, and new ways of practice, and inspiring, and instead of click tracks and backing, you make your own backing track. You can get on YouTube and use a backing track, but when you make your own, it teaches you so much. And you can break down the walking bass line to one note and do the same things and just play one note. You know, maybe I'll show that tomorrow, because I like showing these loop videos, because I didn't have anybody that done videos like this. I mean, Yannick Gonzalez did it to a point, yeah. And so, but it wasn't much. And it's cool to see people do it and listen to how they do it. And everybody plays different. But thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and come back.